So, something interesting recently just happened. The Nintendo Today app got a quiet update this week. Nothing major on the surface, but Datamine has decided to dig a little deeper. And what they found has subtly kicked up a little bit of speculation just regarding Mario Kart World's first potential DLC, and a certain Donkey Kong character who fans have been waiting to see for years. Now, before we get into any of this, I want to be really clear. This video isn't saying anything is confirmed. What you're about to see is simply an educated assumption just based on data that we currently have. Then of course combined with Nintendo's timing, their marketing platforms, Mario Kart World's latest update, and just a few other details that kind of line up with this. It's realistically one of those situations where every single clue lines up just a little bit too neatly, but still, take it for what it is. Before we get started as well, just a real quick announcement that I am giving away another $100 Nintendo eShop voucher once this channel hits its next major milestone of 21,000 subscribers. All you have to do is be subscribed to enter, that's it. Alright, let's break it down. So, as I mentioned, earlier this week, the Nintendo Today app pushed an update that added a few new things, including a clean new Donkey Kong theme. Pretty normal stuff, but immediately, Datamine had started pulling apart the files just to see what else might be lingering behind the scenes, and that's where things get a little bit interesting. Inside the app was an animation scheduled to go live on December 15th, 2025, and this animation features King K. Rool. That's already surprising, because this will be the first time Nintendo officially acknowledges King K. Rool's return just to the Donkey Kong franchise since the release of DK Bonanza. Bonanza players are pretty shocked when he appeared in the game, and then Nintendo went completely silent about him afterwards. No tweets, no posts, no Rool, nothing. Which makes sense because it is a pretty major spoiler. So why acknowledge him now? And more importantly, why here? This is kind of where the theories start. Well, the Game Awards actually take place just a few days earlier on December 11th, and Donkey Kong Bonanza is nominated for Game of the Year. A lot of people believe this timing is way too perfect to be a coincidence. If Bonanza does get featured, or even lightly acknowledged, Nintendo might want to celebrate that nomination just by showcasing Bonanza-themed content in another major game, or just updating that game as well. The one game that really makes a lot of sense to sort of correlate with that is Mario Kart World. It lines up for a few reasons. Bonanza is Nintendo's big DK push right now, realistically. Mario Kart World just had a major foundational update, and Nintendo rarely updates an app with an animation pointing to a character unless they're planning to do something with that character elsewhere. No leaks, no confirmations, just timing and a whole lot of smoke. Here's where things get really suspicious. I made a few videos on this back in the past, but essentially, King K. Rool's voice actor is actually listed in the credits for Mario Kart World, and so is Void Kong's actor as well. But neither of those characters appear in the game. They don't have any lines, they don't have any animations, and they've never been mentioned. The counter argument to that theory is they could have just been used for some background character noises. Realistically, that is a complete possibility. But if we kind of take a step back from that and assume that it is King K. Rool and Void Kong, why would Nintendo credit actors for characters that aren't in the game? Unless of course those characters are planned or even recorded already. This is exactly the kind of breadcrumbs Nintendo drops months before a reveal, just kind of being quiet, subtle, but also somewhat intentional. Because I'm in marketing for my job, and it does create a little bit of buzz. Again, this is not confirmation, but absolutely worth at least raising an eyebrow. Now let's talk about the update we did get this week, version 1.4.0, and just the relevance to any of this. On paper, it looks a lot like a quality of life update with things like custom items, a replay feature in versus mode, music display when pausing, also a kind of like a music slider, then of course a lot of general fixes. But the biggest change of all that has a lot of relevance is how Nintendo quietly went back and updated track intermissions. You know, those long straightaways that used to be kind of flat and not too interesting. Well, they now have curves, obstacles, and just a whole lot of interactive elements, kind of like manta rays that give you boosts, vine paths you can weave through, jumping on different railings, and a whole other lot of things too. This isn't the type of overhaul that you just do for fun. This is the type of thing that you do when you're prepping, maybe with layouts, and just realistically actually listening to fan feedback. Like, Nintendo are really showing right now that they are listening to fan feedback, and they're definitely investing in World long term. Every sign that I mentioned in yesterday's video realistically points to something a lot bigger. So if we actually combine all of this, the new DK theme in Nintendo Today, Datamine King K. Rool animations, Bonanza's Game of the Year nomination, of course lining up with the Game Awards, K. Rool and Void Kong actually being in Mario Kart World's credits for the voice actors, even things like out of nowhere promotion posts for Mario Kart World just on Nintendo of Japan's page, and of course all the major groundwork that was laid in version 1.4.0, and it becomes pretty clear which Donkey Kong characters are getting some attention. Of course, I'd love to see others like Funky Kong and Dixie Kong, but again, this is all just speculation at this point. It'd be awesome if we just got a random trailer in the Game Awards just for Mario Kart World, because that game's also up for a nomination as well. Again, this is all not confirmation, just an educated, and you could say somewhat well supported assumption, just based on timing, evidence, and I guess some patterns that Nintendo has kind of followed in the past. There was a lot of data in Mario Kart Tour, and also Mario Kart 8 Deluxe as well, just around the booster course pass. And if you've been following my channel since back then, we definitely linked up a lot of stuff from all the community's engagement, and even predicted a lot of stuff in the future. We'll talk about the Yoshi's Island track well before it came out, same with Squeaky Clean Sprint 2, and then of course a few other city tracks as well. Regardless if there's an announcement at the Game Awards or not, I could definitely see something like this being linked somewhere down in the future, if it's at a future Nintendo Direct or anywhere random. I do think World getting DLC is going to come eventually, and as long as Nintendo are ready to release it, that's the only thing that matters. If you did enjoy this breakdown though, be sure to subscribe, and of course leave a like as well, because it really helps out the channel. And if you do prefer some more actual heavily edited videos and a little bit more structure behind them, make sure to check out my Mario Kart Mystery series. It dives into the biggest mysteries throughout Mario Kart history, and I've even got a new episode on Coconut Mole releasing very, very soon. All I'll say is RIP the Mies. But anyway, I'll leave you there. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video. See yous!